China says Japanese activists near the disputed islands are worsening tensions between Beijing and Tokyo. Chinese ambassador to the United States, Tiankai.
在钓鱼岛问题上。
It's Japan that stirred up and exacerbated tensions on the islands issue. It's also Japan that took direct and threatening actions. These are very evident facts that say who is right or wrong.
The potentially mineral-rich islands known as Diaoyu in China and Senkaku in Japan are administered by Tokyo, a status quo that Washington backs. U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel says any change that raises tensions could threaten regional stability.
Therefore, the United States opposes any unilateral or coercive action that seeks to undermine Japan's administrative control.
And Beijing sees that as Washington siding with Tokyo, says CATO Institute analyst Justin Logan.
The American position, I think, has been confusing and unhelpful. We say that we don't take a position on whether the Senkaku, Diaoyu islands are Japanese, but we take a position that they are covered by the treaty with Japan.
A U.S.-Japan defense treaty covers any attack on Japanese-administered territory. Chinese Ambassador Sui says Japan and its allies risk long-term damage over the islands.
Some Japanese politicians take up these actions like lifting a rock, only to drop it on their own feet. We hope that other parties do not lift up rocks for the Japanese, and we hope even more that these rocks don't end up falling on their own feet.
Washington wants better relations with Beijing, but the chairman of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey, says he's told Chinese officials that does not mean weakening ties with Japan.
Would we trade off our relationship with Japan in order to have a stronger relationship with China? The answer is no.
Japan is protesting a Chinese warship locking weapons fire control radar on one of its patrols near the islands. U.S.-Chinese relations are a constant source of anxiety in Japan, says American Enterprise Institute analyst Michael Auslin.
They don't want a China and the United States that are at loggerheads because it's bad for Japan. On the other hand, they don't want a China and the United States that suddenly become best friends forever, and that will leave Japan as the odd man out of that arrangement.
Chinese officials are also unhappy about June military drills between Japan and the United States that will involve recapturing an isolated island. U.S. officials say the scenario is not aimed at any specific country. Scott Stearns, VOA News at the State Department.